Every month, launches, landings, recoveries, tests happen in the world of aerospace. My name is Declan, and let's figure out what events are happening in May. It's a busy month for SpaceX as always, starting off with the Crew-1 return. Crew-1 is composed of NASA astronauts Mike Hopkins, Shannon and Victor Glover, with the Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency astronaut Soichi Noguchi, and they launched on top of a Falcon 9 in Crew Dragon Resilience to head to the International Space Station from Launch Complex 39A at Kennedy Space Center on November 15, 2020. After their 6-month mission on the International Space Station, they will undock on May 1st. They will head home and land in the Gulf of Mexico in the early mornings of May 2nd. This will complete SpaceX's first operational mission to the International Space Station underneath NASA's Commercial Crew Program. Going down to South Texas in Starbase, Starship SN-15 is waiting on the pad to complete its high-altitude flight test. Starship is a brand new, crazy launch vehicle being developed rapidly by SpaceX down in Starbase, Texas. Starship SN-15 performed its static fires on April 26th and 27th, and its high-altitude flight test is no earlier than Monday, May 3rd. This is completely subject to change, and probably will change, because this is a test program. Starship SN-15 will perform a similar test to SN-8, 9, 10, and 11, and fly to approximately 10 kilometers, flip itself, and do its signature belly flop maneuver. Then, once closer to the ground, it will light up 3 Raptor engines, flip itself, and then hopefully land with 2. According to CEO Elon Musk. Speaking of test program, there has been 0 Starships to be able to actually land and be able to talk about it afterwards, the closest being SN-10, which landed but crushed the landing legs because it came down a bit too hard because the Raptor engine that was landing, the singular Raptor engine, was ingesting helium from the pressurization system in the header tanks. Speaking of the helium ingestion issue, Starship SN-15 has hundreds of upgrades, including autogenous pressurization, which means there's a bit of gaseous methane that pressurizes the tanks instead of helium, so hopefully they don't have this same issue. Because of these hundreds of upgrades and brand new Raptor designs, they wanted to skip SN-12 through 14 to get right to 15 to perform tests on the new hardware instead of flying old outdated hardware. I really hope this one lands because they will be able to finally get one back and be able to examine it and gather data on how it survived the flight. If SN-15 lands successfully, they might want to fly it again, which will be the second Starship to fly twice. I'm just kidding, it's the first Starship to fly twice. SN-10 wasn't very nominal. After Starship SN-15, its successor SN-16 is currently in the high bay being stacked. This Starship prototype will probably do a similar test to SN-15 hopefully in the month of May. With all the craziness going on in Starbase, Texas, you can't forget that SpaceX is currently killing it with Falcon 9 missions. Starlink, SpaceX's low-latency, high-speed internet constellation that they've been launching in batches of 60 into low Earth orbit since 2019, will possibly have 4 launches this month. They have drastically improved the launch cadence of these satellites in 2021. The first of these Starlink launches will be on May 4th, from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. Of course, with every Starlink mission, it will be on a recovered booster, and the booster will land downrange on an autonomous spaceport drone ship in the Atlantic Ocean. Starlink satellites are put into low Earth orbit by SpaceX's workhorse, awesome 2-stage Falcon 9, being powered by its 9 Merlin 1D engines, which produces over 1.5 million pounds of thrust. Rocket Lab, of course, has an amazing name for its rocket launches. The mission entitled Running Out of Toes will be Electron's 20th mission, and it will be launched from Launch Complex 1 on the Mahia Peninsula in New Zealand. 2 Earth observation satellites will be launched in low Earth orbit for customer Black Sky, a part of their global monitoring constellation. What is so cool about this launch is that this is Rocket Lab's second attempt of recovering its first stage of the Electron rocket out of the water in the ocean. The first mission that recovered the first stage out of the water was the mission Return to Sender in November of 2020, which was completely successful. The stage will land in the water via parachutes after experiencing atmospheric re-entry after launch. Then it will be put on a boat and returned to Rocket Lab. With this being the second attempt of recovering out of the water, after the third attempt, they will actually try to catch it with a helicopter. This is the master plan all along of how to recover the first stage of the Electron rocket. Welcome to Acronym Land. The mission for United Launch Alliance, entitled SBIRS GEO Flight 5, will take off from Space Launch Complex 41 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. This mission will take off on May 17th and will be on top of the Atlas V in the 4-2-1 configuration, meaning a 4-meter fairing, 2 solid rocket boosters, and 1 Centaur upper stage engine. The payload is the 5th Space-to-Base Infrared System Geosynchronous Earth Orbit Mission Detection and Early Warning System for the United States Space Force Space and Missile Systems Center. Hopefully this mission continues the amazing reliability of United Launch Alliance rockets. An awesome new launch provider, Firefly Aerospace, has their first demo flight in May. This will be on the brand new small-sat launch vehicle Firefly Alpha, and will go to low Earth orbit for the mission entitled Dream, or the Dedicated Research and Educator Accelerator Mission. The mission Dream contains 26 CubeSats from educational institutions and other institutions with space dreams. This will all be launched from Space Launch Complex 2W at Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. Let's go to the best segment that you've ever heard of, obviously, moon time. The new moon for the month of May will be on the 11th, with the full moon being on the 26th. Thank you everyone for watching Space Events. I'll see you in